Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lanny Siyuja. We're doing a presentation on 319 non-source projects we have done. My name is Lanny Siyuja from the Hualapai tribe out at Peach Springs, Arizona. Um, Today I got Jalen Walker. I want to introduce him. He is our technician for natural resource. I got Alvin Crook in the back in the white T-shirt. He's our uh, manager. So, and I don't know why they're holding up paper. Okay, okay. So, Hualapai Indian Reservation is the northwestern part of Arizona. The Colorado River borders our reservation. We have 108 miles of the Colorado River that borders our reservation. So, Hualapai, we consider that the boundary. Kind of a little off of what we're doing, but the state park, they say our boundary is the high water mark, but we've been battling that for a long time. So I wasn't expecting this big of a room, so sorry I'm moving around a whole lot. So I just want to read you. Water and the Hualapai. The Hualapai, the water is Hanyatgetja, grandfather water. To the Hualapai, prayers are said when one partakes in the life-giving liquid. The springs, Haupak, of the Hualapai lands are considered holy water. The holy water is bathed in for healing of the body and soul. Babies are taken to the sacred spring near their place of birth and washed. Doing this makes the child part of the spring, and the child can return to the spring for blessing and guidance. That child is related to the water. The Hualapais live through the water, and the water lives through the Hualapai. So this presentation is on 319 Clean Water Act non-point source projects. Um, Over the years, we've had well, obviously projects we have done. This project, there's three projects that I want to present. Um, One is a brush barrier. Um, Another one was livestock wildlife exclusion. Um, Brush barriers were done to help prevent erosion on the reservation. Okay. Brush barriers. Brush barriers are a temporary sediment barrier constructed at the perimeter of a disturbed area using residual materials, small trees, branches, root mats, stones, other debris left over from cleaning sites. So, what we've done, this young gentleman right here is he's a tribal member. He's one of our interns we had for the summer. Um, we our tribe has a forestry program, so they would do thinning in the summer, thinning and piling. So whatever they cut down, you can take. So what we did is we took a lot of the trees they cut down, and we went out to an area where um, erosion was pretty bad. Was done in parts for years. When I came on board, this is what we done. You can see that young gentleman. fixing the brush barriers. So we would take the trees, take the trees that are cut down, and we would stack them at least 3 feet high. And we use barbed wire and T-posts. We would pound it maybe a foot to 3 feet deep on the T-post in the wash. Then we would stack the trees and tie them up with barbed wire and throw some branches in there, and just to help our dam it up. Um, so. So you can see the before. And after. So this picture was taken not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. And these barriers been out for, I want to say 4 to 5 years. They've been sitting out in the washes. So you can see that it is doing its job. One year we set out, I think, over 30 of them. And before that, before I came on board, they had set out, I think, 20 more in different areas. So the next project we did was wildlife exclusion. So as you can see in the picture, we got 3 interns we had over the summer. The young lady is in her second year of college, and the 2 gentlemen they're still in high school. So on this one is livestock and wildlife exclusion. I use temporary and permanent fencing to control animal access to ponds, rivers, springs, and streams. Fencing livestock, wildlife out of the streams is a single cost effective way to improve water quality in water when utilizing either temporary or permanent fencing. Uh, so I'm going to show you some more pictures, but just to talk about this particular spring. This spring is called Red Spring, and it's a spring near our community. In the past years, they've done this project before. They fenced off the spring. They piped it outside of the fence area into a trough for wildlife and animals to get to. Um, then over the years, they tore down the fences and they kind of damaged the spring as well. It was overgrown. So when we got our young interns, we put them to work out in the hot sun, out in the summer. And so, but these guys were cool. They enjoyed being outdoors. And for most of them, first time ever doing a fence line. So in the middle, you can see the guy kneeling down. So we had to unplug the pipe that was already in there, and is there a way you can play a video on the far right? There's a video attached to it. So that's what it looked like after we unplugged it and got it set up. So um, now it's not flowing as much, but still it's flowing for enough for that trough to fill up and everybody's happy. And just some more pics of the project. You can see the three youth on the side, and you got Jalen and Alvin in the middle. Hold on. There we go. So this spring is called Moss Spring. Uh, same same project, uh, fence exclusion. Um, but this one is interesting because this one is deep in the canyon. It's way in the canyon. Um, but from what I was told, if you could see that cement trough, like 40 years ago, they did this project. Um, we would go every other year to do our spring samples, collect data, collect the water. Then 2 years ago, we went back and tried to fence it off. Um, it did hold a little, but the wildlife, man, they're crazy. They want that water. They'll jump that fence, tear down the fence. So we came back, I think last year, and the same thing. Um, and the reason for to do these fence exclusion is to keep the water quality clean for the animals. When we do our samples, a lot of the water is very high in E. coli. So animals are pooping, peeing in the water. So when we collect it, that's what it's telling us. And sometimes we do see it. Um, one year we hiked to this spring and there's like a dead horse, like right there in the water. So those are the main reasons why we do this. But we always make sure that they're going to get water. We don't just fence it off and leave it. We make sure they're going to get water. Another interesting thing is, I don't know if you can tell on the top right or left, you can see how high this is. It's deep in the canyon, but high up on a canyon wall. Then you can see a horse up there. So this was a spring that you couldn't just drive to or hike to, you had to fly to. Uh, we contract with a company out of Tucson. Uh, some pretty good guys. We use them every year. They came up and we had to sling in a lot of the equipment. It was a 3-day project. Um, they camped out down there. I didn't. I had some of the obligations, but I did go in through the day and fly out. Alvin and not Jalen, but Alvin and them, they camped out down there. Uh, So first thing they did when they did get down into the canyon is they connected um, some poly pipe. I can't remember how long they are individually, but this pipe ended up getting really long. You know how long it was, Alvin? When we got it all together, how long it was? So after getting it all put together, the pipe was over about 600 feet long. Um, and another thing, the guys in the helicopter, after we got it all attached together, we tied it up, tied it to the helicopter. Helicopter took it up the canyon, dropped it, and we hiked up and pulled it up a little further to the spring so we can uh, get it set up and have the water flow down into a trough. Um, so you can see on the bottom, we did do a makeshift pool for the pipe to go into. Then you could just see pictures of them doing the fence work, hiking the side of the canyon, um, messing with that poly pipe. It was pretty tough. One of those one in a million shots happened on this project. Um, so the pipe was all coiled up, fused it together. It's still coiled up. It coiled up again. So when the helicopter took it up the canyon, dropped it, it landed right on a tree. So we had to hike up there and cut the tree down. These are just pictures of the project, and you can see them on the bottom, hanging out in the campground. Well, that's just us working. So if you can see down here, the canyon wall, and I don't remember what that flow was once we got it hooked up. Do you remember that flow? It was a gallon a minute that was coming out of there. Can you play that video? Hope you guys can see the video. You can see it's very, very rough terrain. Thank you. That's the crew right there. Worked day and night on this project. Except the other guy, he was home sleeping in a nice warm bed. These guys braved the elements. Well, thank you for your time. These are the projects we have done over the years to uh, prevent contaminants that get into the water as well, that will travel down the creeks, down the streams, nitrates, nitrites, E. coli, all of that. So once again, thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You in the back.
Like so people online can hear.
Hi, Bree Hernandez with the Bishop Haight Tribe. That is insane. The land that you guys have to kind of like go through. I was just telling her, how do you think we can get a helicopter? But we're only on 875 acres, so I doubt it. So, but my question is, for maintenance of something like that, so that 600-foot piping, what do you envision the maintenance is going to be on that going forward?
Maintenance on that, it's just checking up on it, really. This moss spring is one of the 54 springs we monitor. So we'll see it like every year, maybe. So we did do a little maintenance on it. So from the rains, it did wash out the top. And not too long ago, we were out there and we did kind of redo the little puddle to put the pipe back in. So it's going to be a constant, just check on it if it's holding up, if it's not holding up. So, Hualapai tribe is over 1 million acres. So,
Yeah, and it's like the terrain is it's so wild. It's great.
yeah, it's we have half of our reservation is ponderosa pine, and the other half's like desert. So,
Great, awesome, thank you.
out of the 54 springs, I think like 20 of them we fly to. You can't hike or drive to. So, do a lot of flying.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I have a question in regards to the 319. Did you guys have to match funding, or was it funded for you? And does that include the piping, all the materials, and the helicopter pilots?
Hello, Alvin, Crook. Some of them, well, most of them, they're competitive grants, 319 grants. So these are competitive grants, and which included all the materials, the contracts for helicopter services. This one's the only one that required the helicopter, but the other ones were, like you said, there were down trees. We used brush. We used our summer interns, our youth. And with this project and the other projects, some of these, this is our local, the 4 guys in the middle, a couple of tribal members and 1 community member. So these are our laborers. These are what we hire for this project specifically. So that's what our funding goes. And we usually like to put it back. Other than the helicopter, we usually like to hire our community members that are on the reservation. And these guys, I stayed with them for three nights, and man, they enjoyed it the whole time. They kept thanking me, when are you gonna do another one? We want to do another one. And because these are places we go to that the community will not see. We're the only ones that see, and it takes us 2 years to monitor our spring. So we'll do half 1 year, half the next. So for the maintenance part, we just went back, because this was 2 years ago we did, and then we just went back this year and noticed the pipe got pulled down from the rain, and the trough was a little bit moved. So we'll just maintenance them when in the next couple of years, we'll go ahead and see how this is doing when we sample this spring. and then we'll just do simple maintenance, because a lot of it's down fence, down barbed wire, but we just go and splice them real quick and then just adjust this right here at the bottom, the trough.
Over there.
Hello, Megan Poffenbarger, work for the Pechanga Band of Indians in Temecula. I was just wondering if you guys have your own lab out of curiosity, or if you have to bring your water samples to an offsite lab, especially since your terrain, like your reservation land base is so large.
We do our own in-house lab. We have our own little in-house lab. So our in-house lab would do phosphorus, phosphate, nitrates, nitrites, E. coli, total nitrogen. And then the rest is our field hand meters we use. And then we do a QA/QC with 3 of our springs that are perennial springs that flow into the Colorado River. And we'll do a full suite, and those ones we'll send to the lab. So those ones will usually, it's a short window, so we'll leave early in the morning. We have to fly and hike, because one of them you fly to and you hike about half a mile in the canyon, because we sample all of our water at the source. We don't get it where it's the fastest we can get there. We just keep going to the source, and then we'll sample there with 2 ice. One of them has 2 ice chests. We'll carry it back out, get a helicopter, hit the next one, and then come right back out. And then one of us will usually be ready, and we'll throw it on ice and we'll send it to the lab. And that's our QA/QC, and our data compared to the lab's data is they're close, pretty much right on. So that's our own little lab. We almost had a mobile lab though, but I changed my mind on getting one.
If you don't mind, how did you get your lab established initially?
Before I got there, it kind of already had a small little lab already, but when I got there, we upgraded equipment. So we have like the IDEX, I don't know, Coli Alert, you guys heard that? It does E. coli. We have that. We just have our little portable meters for the phosphorus, which we usually let sit for a day, come back and then monitor or sample it. So that's how we established it. And it's a small little, it's nothing. It's actually in our office. It sits in the corner and it's just on top of a table, and that's our lab.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you and appreciate it. Thank you for coming.